Welcome everyone to Straight Shoot, a wrestling podcast. I am Mr. Tesh, or like you all like to call me, Common Steve L. And it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've done a solo Monday Night Raw review. You guys have been asking for it for a couple of months, so I figured tonight's Raw was so good. It had so much happening. And if this is what the next 9 weeks has in store for us before the Royal Rumble, god damn am I excited. This is going to be great. So let's get into it. Monday Night Raw started actually about an hour before it went on the air. If you were following the WWE Instagram, you saw the Usos and the Bloodline with Sammy and Solo show up together, talking their, just enjoying their glory, basking in their glory, if you might say. Yeah, okay, that's probably not going to sit well with anyone, but we're going to go with it. Anyways, and we have Riddle zoom past and ends up that Solo takes out Elias. And WWE had it planned that it was going to be the Usos versus Elias and Riddle for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team titles as the main event, but it ended up kicking off the show. Usos came out, ended up bragging about what was going on. They kicked off the show. Listen, still the best part of the entire segment with Sami Zayn. Let's be real. He's probably one of the most over characters in WWE right now. All props to Sami Zayn. Usos start running their mouth. Everyone's getting excited and hyped to acknowledge the ones. And Riddle's music hits. Now listen, this was a great segment, but we all knew what it was building to, and I'm not mad. I'm not mad at this at all. They decided to kick off the show with a surprise tag partner because Elias was not medically cleared to compete, and obviously it was the prize fighter, Kevin Owens. Listen, this was a very good match. Tell me an Usos match that is bad, please, because I can't remember one. And you put two athletes in there like Riddle, who, when I met Riddle, he had uncomfortably soft hands. I will always tell people that. Riddle has uncomfortably soft hands. Just saying. Anyways, moving on to Raw. And then obviously with Kevin Owens added into the mix, this is going to build for the next 9 weeks. I still think we see a turn from Sami Zayn. This match was awesome. Obviously, the Usos retain. We move on to next week, or probably to SmackDown. And we have the Usos facing Sheamus and Butch because Drew McIntyre is not medically cleared. So the one thing I really liked about tonight's Monday Night Raw was the fact that there was a lot of backstage segments. And I mean, probably the most backstage segments I recall since Triple H took over. We had JBL running some sort of poker tournament, which... honestly, it was just jobber central at poker table number 1, and no disrespect whatsoever to the people sitting at the tables. I don't want to be that guy, but I have to say it in that way because really there was nothing going on at that table. It was Tamina, Dana Brooke, Shelton Benjamin, a Becky Lynch lookalike dealer, Tazawa, and Dominic Mysterio. Now, granted, we did get a match out of this later on in the day between Tazawa and Dominic Mysterio, but it was just another match trying to make Dominic and Judgment Day look strong. We'll get into that. But the other table was really interesting. We had the likes of Alpha Academy. We had Happy Corbin. We had who else did we have sitting at that table? I can't really remember at this point. We had the OC sitting at that table. And who else? Oh, yeah. And we had Dexter Loomis show up randomly with his massive wad of cash that he won the other week against The Miz. And he sits at the table, and this was just a continued thing throughout the night. And there were so many quick snips of this all night. JBL with probably the line of the night for me saying that Dexter Loomis needs to go back to Crystal Lake. WWE, if anyone sees this, or if anybody can clip this and like tag WWE in this, can we just start billing Dexter Loomis from Crystal Lake? Because that would be awesome. I don't know about you guys, but Dexter Loomis being billed from Crystal Lake with the persona and the demeanor that he has, yes, please. I'm all for it. I'm all about it. Let's move on. So I believe the next match that we had was the first of 2 women's triple threat matches to find out who the match next week would be for the number 1 contendership to the following week to Bianca's Raw Women's title. So in the first match, we had Bayley, we had Rhea Ripley, and we had Asuka. Now, let's think about this for a second. The 3 names that I just said, 3 ex-women's champions and multiple time women's champions. That is honestly a WrestleMania worthy match. But before the match started out, obviously Bayley entered, and being the grinchy Bayley that she is, Becky obviously had to ruin her night. Becky enters through the crowd. They cut a great little promo back and forth between like their business hasn't been finished for like 3 years because they've both been off and gone. Really looking forward to seeing what they can do between Becky and Bayley moving forward. But this wasn't the best part of this segment. The best part about this segment was the stare down between Rhea and Becky. Take my money. I want a feud with Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch somehow molding into a title feud. I don't know how Bianca drops the title, but I want the next major feud between Rhea and Becky to be a title feud. We need this. I want this. There is just so much WWE can do under Triple H with this. Please, 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 let's do this. So we get into the match. It was a very good match. I really, really enjoyed this match, but it was lacking a little bit of grit. You kick it off with 2 fire promos, or a fire promo and then 2 great stare downs. I have no idea how there's no grit in this match, especially with Rhea Ripley in it. Rhea Ripley has benefited the most out of this whole Judgment Day thing. She is so over. People are so excited to see her, and she loses how she did tonight. I just don't understand that writing, but overall, really good match, really good television, and really good writing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Next part of the segment next part of the show that we had was Seth Rollins coming out in one of his most flamboyant suits, we'll say. I think him and Becky pretty much just switch closets at this point. But he came in some baby blue snakeskin suit print thing. Listen, anything Seth does, I will never judge, and I will never be mad at. It's Seth at this point. Seth is the drip king. He's the architect. He's the messiah. He's whatever anybody wants to call him. Seth Rollins deserves to be acknowledged. Vince Russo. Yeah, you heard me. If you guys don't know what that means, go check out his last comments. Anyways, Seth cutting a promo. Bobby Lashley interrupts, and I'm really getting tired of Bobby Lashley. It's just not doing it for me. Bobby, it doesn't excite me to see Bobby come out because it's the other competitor has to carry whatever is about to happen. Yes, Bobby can throw his weight around. He's great in the ring, but it's just on the mic. It's just not good. So we had a bunch of WWE backstage producers come running out. Bobby Lashley mistakenly spears one of them. They make a whole big thing about it, and that was about it. Decent segment, not the best segment that you want to see Seth Rollins in. Anyways, let's move on. So I think we went back to the poker segment, which was great. because that poker segment for me was the best thing of the night. I absolutely loved this poker segment. Can somebody tell me why Dexter Loomis brought an axe to a poker tournament? Just saying, again, WWE, let's just start booking Dexter Loomis from Crystal Lake. JBL's onto something. He may be a wrestling god, but I'll tell you right now, he might have just created the best thing for Dexter Loomis. Anyways, Dexter beats Happy Corbin, and this just builds to something that's going to be a match later on in the night. Then we had, I believe, a U.S. title match between Austin Theory and Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali cut a promo earlier in the day on social media explaining why he deserves to be in this title run, and acknowledged as the wrestler that he is, why he has to fight for everything. I get it. It was really good. It was good babyface work. Just never sold me on it. I'm not a babyface person, but anyways, the match itself was really good. Everything Austin Theory is doing right now, I'm loving. Everything that Mustafa Ali is doing right now in ring is really good. I don't see Mustafa Ali as the next U.S. champion. I don't think he's there, and I don't personally think he's ever going to be there. But what have you, we're here. But luckily, we had a great run-in and a disqualification thanks to Dolph Ziggler. Why? Why is Dolph here? Why is Dolph coming after Theory? Why is Dolph ruining things for Mustafa Ali? I guess we won't know until next week on Monday Night Raw, but at the end of the day, I like it because Dolph Ziggler is one of the most underrated performers of the last 10, 15 years. So write that down because I never acknowledge Ziggler enough, and I just did. So then we go back to the poker game, which, again, best segments of the night, and we catch Happy Corbin cheating against Dexter Loomis. And this spawns a triple threat match between the OC, accompanied by Mitchin, Mia Yim, and we had the Alpha Academy with Happy Corbin, accompanied by JBL. This match, I expected better. It felt like it just was drawn on. These two teams are better than what they put on, and I feel I'm starting to say this a lot when there's an AJ match in it, and I don't know why. Is it maybe just they're just on cruise control with the OC? I don't know. We're going to see, I guess, in the next couple of weeks, but this match needed more for me, but still overall a very good match, with, I believe, the OC taking the win. And then, I guess, back to the poker game, we had another match develop. Like I mentioned earlier, we had a match between Tazawa and Dominic Mysterio. Sorry, I heard the crickets too. I don't know about anybody else, but Tazawa and Dominic Mysterio have apparently started some sort of feud. So Tazawa ends up in the ring. Dom enters with Judgment Day. And this was... Okay, listen. Tazawa, when he is in the ring, the man puts on a show. And he actually, everyone that WWE seems to be putting around Dominic Mysterio makes Dominic Mysterio look like gold. And Dom looked really good in this match. He's playing a very good heel. Obviously, there was... So obviously, we weren't ever going to expect Tazawa to win this match, but he did perform very well and put Dominic Mysterio over. Dominic Mysterio wins the match, and then obviously... Judgment Day being at the ring, they came in and gave Tazawa an extra little bit of a beatdown. But that was short-lived because then we had the Street Profits run in. Another unlikely trio, I guess, and we're starting to see a lot of trios in WWE. I don't think this is going to be one of those things that carries, but at the end of the day, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at this at all. But the Street Profits need to be given better opportunities. They are an extremely good tag team. Every time you put them in the ring with the New Day or the Usos, they are banger matches. Street Profits need to stay away from this shit. Sorry. Anyways, So then we end up with one more backstage segment, which again, I was so happy with all the backstage segments tonight, and I feel I missed a few. Let me know in the comments what your favorite backstage segments were. But we also had Candace Larae with Byron Saxton do a little interview, and we found out that Candace Larae next week will be competing against Io Sky of Damage Control. Had to add that in there. Not too sure how I feel about it. You guys tell me. And then we ended up into the main event, which I was very excited for because they plugged another potential Alexa Bliss turn. We saw the return of Lily again tonight in a backstage segment of Alexa stretching, Lily right up against the wall, and a monitor in the background that flickered with the Fiend. What does this mean? What is going on? I have no idea. But with the result of the final match, I have a feeling we're going to get answers next week. So the final match of the night to see who's going to compete against Bayley for the number one contendership to Bianca's Raw Women's Championship was Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Nikki Cross. This match was good. These women did really, 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 really well until the final spot. We had a run-in from Damage Control to take out Becky Lynch, and it has nothing to do with the three women in the match that made this ending not that good. So Damage Control take out Becky Lynch while she's on a pin. They run in, obviously triple threat, there's no DQ, and they pick Becky up and try and put her through a table, and Io Sky nearly breaks her leg. Like, go watch it back. She buckles under this power bomb, and the whole table and Becky almost come down on her. I don't know what the hell that was, but at least we know that Damage Control and Becky Lynch are going to have a feud. Rhea and Becky are going to have a feud. So there's going to be a lot of Becky Lynch in the future, but I'm super happy that it ended the way it did, because even though they're trying to push Nikki Cross, she didn't look weak in losing to Alexa. We know what's coming with Alexa. We just don't know how long it's going to take. So Alexa Bliss gets up on top of the rope, hits Twisted Bliss, 1, 2, 3. Alexa versus Bayley next week on Monday Night Raw. Listen, I am not disappointed with tonight's Monday Night Raw. Tonight's Monday Night Raw was awesome. I just would like to see it a little cleaner. You know, like, obviously live television is never going to go perfect, but there was a few little spots that were just not the best. Anyways, guys, I want to know what your rating is. I'm going to give Monday Night. Guys, I want to know what your rating is. I'm going to give Monday Night Raw tonight a 7.5 out of 10. I know I said I loved it, but I just feel they could have done more to put it into the mid 8s to 9s. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10, but I love the direction they're going after a couple of very slow weeks. Please let me know in the comments if I got something wrong or if you feel that the rating should have been higher. I love you guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to put the bell on, subscribe to Straight Shooter Wrestling Podcast. Go follow us on Twitter. Go follow us on Instagram. Everything is in our links in our bio. And don't forget, Santi and I have both started up our new YouTube channels. Santi is well ahead of me, so make sure you give me a follow at Mr. Tesh. And Santi is Mr. Santi Zap. And guys, we got some big things coming up in the new year. Stay tuned. And like always, throw it up